What's up, guys? It's Navi here again. We're back here with a review this time. Not a commentary video, but a review of Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. And I have to say, I'm kinda impressed with the game and I'm kinda not. Like, you could tell Capcom didn't really game test this fucking game. Cause literally, it had so many instances where the fucking zombies or even the psychopaths are just invincible for like a short period of time, and it totally screws you over for like no reason, and you just end up losing a lot of health more than you need to. It's literally why guns are freaking useless in this game. It's like really bad. And the original Dead Rising one, it was really powerful to use guns, like the Uzi that you can find in the Paradise Plaza, which I did take, but it hasn't really been that useful. Like, the only time it has been useful was against the convicts, because the convicts are like in a jeep, and they ride all the way throughout the mall. So like those are like the only enemies that like are really good for it. Besides Adam, since you can damage the balloons. But other than that, guns are kind of useless. Dead Rising 2 was also like a game that had really good gunplay. The gunplay was really good. The LMG was one of the strongest weapons in the game, and it's literally how I beat the entire Dead Rising 2 with just the LMG alone. As for off the record, that's when it started happening, where the enemies become invincible for a short period of time if you damage them too much. And with how powerful like the submachine gun is with its rapid fire, that ends up happening almost all the time, and you be losing almost all the ammo. An entire clip of the SMG round is nearly not enough to defeat the psychopath or most of the bosses in the game. It's okay against the snipers, like I forgot what their name were, but there's like snipers in the entrance plaza, I believe. I think it was the entrance plaza. Those enemies are pretty good to take them down with a submachine gun or any handgun. They're pretty good to take down with, as they constantly run away, so it's not really as noticeable. But when you have a psychopath that's always attacking, like Larry, or even Adam sometimes, or Steven, it can get like really annoying. So like it's just better off to use the katana instead, or any other melee weapon you have in your inventory, and just eat the damage. As long as you have health, you should be fine. And that's pretty much it, yeah. As for the other things, I think Frank looks fine. I think the way they portrayed Frank in this game is the same as the original, and Frank looks very similar to his concept art. I'll try to show it on screen over there. The only thing they changed was made his hair a bit grayer and made him a bit older. Although I kind of wish they reused the Dead Rising 4 design. I know people don't like Dead Rising 4 as much, but with the I think it was called Capcom Heroes or something. They had like a Dead Rising 1 version of Frank with the sunglasses. I thought it was really cool. And I kind of wish they brought that outfit over here, because I thought it kind of fitted Frank. I always thought my interpretation of Frank was kind of like what Brad said, a hotshot paparazzi. At least in the first game, because he's very snarky and sarcastic, which is definitely one of my favorite versions of Frank, besides Off the Record, which made him a bit older and more wiser. And we'll go into Off the Record later, because that's definitely one of my favorite Dead Rising games, even with its faults. As for other stuff, I don't know if Capcom game tested this game too well, because I'm gonna say this again, that the iframes they give the zombies is actually crazy, and it gets even worse in Bomb Collector, where you have to go to the tunnels, the maintenance tunnels, and you have to stop Carlito, and basically you literally have to fight through all the zombies, and if you don't have disembowel, which I got it at level 42, I think, it's practically a hassle. It's like really hard to get through there because they just constantly grab you for like no reason. I don't know. The zombies seem more aggressive in this game compared to the other ones, except Dead Rising 4, where you just take random damage for no reason there. I think they broke the game, right? I think they broke the game. And the iframes they give everyone including the zombies and the psychopaths, is like too much. While they just got rid of Frank's iframes with his dodge roll, because the dodge roll is practically useless now. It doesn't really give you much iframes. Same with Frank's moves. His moves don't really give you any iframes at all. So like stuff like the jump kick, you know, the swing, like the Haggard, not the Haggard lariat, but the Zangief type lariat, where Frank spins around. It's literally kind of useless now, considering that zombies literally can just ignore it and just grab you right out of it, which doesn't happen in the original, or even Dead Rising 2, off the record. Which I kind of, if they're gonna be borrowing stuff from off the record, I kind of wish they did. They kind of wish they kept the swing, the Zangief swing, like in off the record, but he doesn't drop his weapon, because you drop your weapon when you're doing the swing. When you're doing like the swing in Dead Rising 1 Deluxe Remaster, Frank drops his weapon, which doesn't happen in off the record, and it kind of gets annoying. I'm pretty sure it also breaks the weapon as well, which can be very inconvenient if you use it not properly, which is why I started using, I started doing the swing barehanded instead, because I literally did not even notice my weapons were breaking and disappearing from my inventory. I thought it got knocked off me, but no, it was because of the giant swing, which I don't know if that happened in the original, because I haven't played much of the original at all, but I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know why they did that for. As for voice acting, I think the voice acting is really good. Obviously, I played in Japanese, because I always found the Japanese voice acting way better in Capcom games than in the English releases. Just for the emotion alone. It's literally one of the reasons why I played Resident Evil 4 in Japanese. Resident Evil 4 was the first game I've ever played in Japanese, because Ada's voice actor, Lily Gao, sucked so much ass that I literally couldn't even play that game anymore. That I literally just had to switch to Japanese, and Japanese Ada's voice actor is like so much better. All the other Japanese voice actors is better, including Leon's as well, because his Japanese voice actor also voices Dante in the Devil May Cry series. If you played it, he started voicing him since DMC4, and that when I had a Japanese dub. He also voices Sephiroth as well if you played Final Fantasy VII, which I thought that was really cool. You can definitely notice it a lot. As for other stuff with Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered, the game is definitely a lot easier, and I won't count that as a con. I think that's definitely a plus, because the original was kind of hard. At least for like the shitty AI and stuff. The AI could be like very cheap and stuff, including the Survivor AI, where they practically have no brains at all. At least in the Deluxe Remaster, they're kind of a bit better, but it's not too noticeable. I know I don't have to babysit them as much like in the original, which I'm kind of happy about. It makes escorting survivors way easier, which is why I'm doing a Saints run on that game, because of how much easier it is to do it. As for the other stuff, I think they kept mostly everything intact besides the censorship, which, if you've seen the Cliff video I made, you could definitely, because I still had the subtitles and everything, you could definitely see how they censored it a bit. They also censored the erotica genre too, which I think I mentioned this already in my emulation video, that I always loved how Dead Rising had some quirky humor. It was always like over the top, didn't take itself too seriously, which you could definitely see in the later games. Or even, just the original, where you could just wear a surfbot helmet. On the surfbot helmet, I forgot it's like a massager. Like the massager from Dead Rising 2, if you remember what that is. It does no damage, but it looks really funny to use on the zombies. I should just go playing Dead Rising 2 for that, because it's definitely a very funny weapon. And I don't know if YouTube will like what I say here, because, it's not really a good weapon, if you catch my meaning. It's like a very weird weapon. I just, as for like stuff I wanted to see, I definitely wanted to see more. I kind of wanted this to be a full blown remake instead. I know people don't want. I know the game is like good the way it is, but I kind of wanted a full blown remake, like Resident Evil 2 style, where like maybe we could like explore the mall. I mean, not the mall, but like outside the mall. That would be really cool. Like I think Dead Rising 4 is the only game that I saw Willamette outside, like the mall, the main mall. That's like not confined to the mall. Like the surrounding towns and stuff. That would have been really cool. I would have definitely loved to see that. And even having more psychopaths, cases would have been really cool as well. Hell, even add more characters as well and enemy types. I would have really liked that. I think Dead Rising 1 aged well for its time, and I'm kind of glad Capcom kept most of the stuff here, including the camera shots, which is how I literally just ported I ported the voice lines over in the clip video from the original game, and it fits perfectly well. That's literally just how I did it. I literally just put the entire lines in there. And it's not that hard to do. You can just replace the entire audio and it works. I do think they should have bring back TJ Rotolo. I know they're not doing union voice acting anymore. At least Capcom isn't. Even though TJ Rotolo literally voiced William Birkin in Resident Evil 2 remake, which is crazy to think about. It's like Capcom is like really lazy with their English voice talent compared to their Japanese voice talent. Cause in Resident Evil, when they started doing Japanese voice acting, like in Revelations, for example, Chris had the same Japanese voice actor in that game and every other subsequent game after that. They almost never replace their Japanese voice actors. They almost never do. Unless they need to. Because it doesn't sound as good like they did with Frank. Because if you guys did not know, Frank actually already had a Japanese voice actor in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But I'm assuming they just did not want to use it. And they instead went with a different guy. I don't know if it's the same one as Dead Rising 4. If it is, I'll put it on screen right now. But I'm not really sure if it is. So, well, yeah, I think everything else was pretty good about the game. I definitely had fun playing the game. Although I kind of wish they gave less iframes to the zombies. So it could have been way more fun. Because the main appeal for Dead Rising for me was always the zombie slaying. I always loved slaying the zombies in these games. Especially Dead Rising 3. Dead Rising 3 and Off the Record were my favorite games because of it. With how ridiculous the blueprint weapons were in Dead Rising 3. And then Off the Record, you could just have, it's like a sandbox mode that you can just play. It's like a sandbox mode that you get infinite time. It's kind of like Infinity mode in Dead Rising 1, but without the health drain. You basically, it's basically like forever until you die. But at least in sandbox mode and Off the Record, you can always just load back from a save. You can always just load back from a save over in case you do happen to die. Or even, since Off the Record had checkpoints, you can go back to the latest checkpoint and just start over again. Which I thought was really cool. So yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. If I had to rate it, it's definitely like a 5 or 7. Maybe like a 7. I think it's like a 7. I think Capcom did really good with this remake. Well, this remaster. But they definitely missed a lot of, key details. They definitely missed a lot of these key details there. Which I already mentioned already. I definitely recommend getting this game on sale. If it's not on sale already. Which it is on sale on the PlayStation. If you guys want to grab it, it's for $25. This is how I'm experiencing Dead Rising 1 for the first time. Well, not the first time, because I actually played the 2006 game when it came out when I was little. But I never actually beaten it. Because it was always so hard. At least for the Deluxe Remaster, they made it way easier, and I could actually play through the entire game. And I'm actually kind of excited for them to remaster Dead Rising 2 as well, and Dead Rising 3. If they do remaster Dead Rising 3, I'm not sure if they will. If they do remaster Dead Rising 2, I hope they add Case Zero and Case West as a subsequent expansions, or at least even as DLC would be really cool. Because Case West and Case Zero, if you guys didn't know, were the prequels and the sequel, or the epilogue. For example, since ending A is canon in Dead Rising 2, where TK grabs Chuck in the elevator and Frank goes and saves him. As with Off the Record is a non-canon game, and if knowing Capcom, they would probably like make it a separate game instead, but I'm not really sure if they'll do that. Honestly, if they do remaster Dead Rising 2, I'm not sure if they'll add a Uranus Zone back there because it wouldn't make any sense. Or maybe, just adding the survivors over there. Like, putting the survivors over from Dead Rising 2 Off the Record there. And just having Frank as an optional character that you can just play. And co-op would be really cool. And skip Off the Record entirely. But I'm not really sure about that. Because despite Off the Record not featuring much differences, it's definitely a really good game. And I heavily suggest you guys should play it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, guys, I think that's about it for my review of Dead Rising 1 Deluxe Remaster. I think it's okay, but you can really tell they tried to play it safe. Even though they kind of fucked up a bit on the things right there. So yeah, guys, I think that's about it. See you guys later. Navi out. Live streaming again later at 3 p.m. Make sure to tune in. Check out, like, subscribe, turn on the bell. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.